What up, low gangsters? We're here with our. Can you see it, Gustavo? Okay, cool. What does that say?
Is this your OnlyFans, Mike?
Yeah. Wow. Now I know your expectations of me. I now cracked the code why he is jealous of me all the time.
What's the link?
I'm gonna type sup. Oh wait. Share stream. Okay.
That's all you know? What about Pelé? You know who Pelé is? No, that's something I know. He died. So.
Oh, the player?
Yes.
Yes.
You know him?
Yeah. I know.
Capital T.
Occupation, the player.
I'm gonna share this link to our story. Teo, is that you? I can't really see. There's like. Oh, hey Teo. How are you? I'm great. How are you? Better now. Why is it better now? Okay. Not now.
He's a football player. He's from Brazil. He plays soccer. Fair enough, my bad. I did
Hello. I heard my name from somewhere, so I just looked up. Dude, I've had a rough night. We lost to the Kings by 25.
Your team's also out of the playoffs.
Dude, I had a rough
You're out of the
night.
play.
Did you see the TCU
My team's in the playoffs. They'd be 8 and 9.
Do you know how I could post to the story here? I'm doing.
Bro, I could do it on my phone.
Okay.
Are you live streaming?
Yeah, I think we're live. Can the fellas in the back hear me?
Is someone in?
No, I
Okay.
typed sup.
Can we hear ourselves? We'll send it to someone. Send the link. Yeah, and check it. Wait, give me the link so I can post it on the story also, right?
Okay.
If I'm gonna start reading it out to me, I was like, not like that.
I'm gonna WhatsApp you. Chris. All right, Chris Lee Wong.
Mhm.
There you go.
What'd you do?
I sent it to you on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Welcome, absolutely nutty to the stream.
It's sexist, not racist.
Caught that.
Thank you.
I caught that. Ah! Wow, the microphone's really, really quiet. YouTube. Because we're trying to do this just in case people can't come to the meetings, so that way they're able to still be a part of it.
It's great to put like the rip part one. Like, what's that American one? Like the barbecue.
Brisket?
It's
It's like braised beef. It's like braised beef, like slow cooked with like chicken.
pulled pork, but it's good. Is it a beer that's just called real barbecue? Yeah, that's terribly translate. So okay, so it's because it has the texture of old plants. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I like beef steak. Beef steak. Yeah, more. Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yes.
It's used.
Channels.
What was it?
That's like a sci-fi.
Oh.
That's my sister.
Whoa.
The sun is blinding me. I'm sorry. I'm like.
Okay, so it's
Wait.
on phone. It's a little bit loud.
How do you say yellow? That's close. I know it wasn't the same.
Just add a drunken stupor to the pronunciation. No, it's a drunk Russian guy trying to speak Spanish. He now submits probably.
It's so weird because I'm hearing double of what's going on.
Wait, can you hear it well? Here it is.
Yeah. No, we did.
Is this good? Can I make it more fun?
Just put if you're unable to make it to the
Click here.
yeah, GBM, we're live streaming it.
Hey guys, may I have your attention, please? Our launch is start. Oh, yes.
Steve.
I welcome you all to AMA. I know the spring is not as easy as the fall in terms of new students, but do we have any first timers here? First timers? Nice, you're all welcome. Anyone here is a freshman? Just beginning by any chance?
Woo! Good start. Good start.
Long journey. It's a good one. You made the right first step. So, whenever you stop. I mean, we always meet this time, 4:45.
Sorry.
We have the general board meeting where we bring a lot of professional development opportunities, sometimes speakers, workshops, competitions, all sorts of events from all sorts of parts of the marketing board for you guys to have extracurricular activities. So we are staff. We're a chapter of an international organization present over all the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico, over 350 chapters in different universities. And we're very proud to say that we're a top 15 chapter here in USF. So we're over 40 years old, so we're a legacy of the university. Perfect. So what is happening today? This is our first meeting, as you know, so happy spring semester, everybody. And we have an AMA 101 with Dana Gordon, who's one of our members at the AMA board. Emily Young, who just got in, is an alumni and also a former AMA president. So that's really cool. They're going to talk to you guys. So this general board meeting that we have is only the face of AMA. What really happens on the background is that we function like a business. We have different committees that engage in different activities and competitions in, as I said, an international scenario. And we have directors that handle each of them. And these are more opportunities for you to get involved and really have hands-on experience, either as it was for a case study or developing social impacts and voluntary events. So have all sorts of opportunities for all sorts of people. And then right now going through each of our committees and ask them to quickly introduce themselves. So if you see anyone in a blue polo, we are the officers. By the end of the meeting, make sure to you can go through it to any of us and ask any questions. Make sure you sign up for the committee activities. Let's for the marketing committee, Jaya, if you could share what your committee is.
Hi everyone, my name is Jaya. I'm the VP of Marketing and the Marketing Committee. So we are in charge of running the social media website, like social media, graphic design, website design, email marketing, copywriting. You can come to me after the GBM and we're at 4:30 on Thursdays. So yeah.
Finance and fundraising committee. Paige is here today. Hey, Paige.
Hi, I'm Paige. I'm the director of finance. And the finance and fundraising committees work very closely together. So basically, we are responsible for raising funds in handling all of the organization's financial processes. So we raise funds through events, sponsorships. We have a new e-commerce initiative now. So if you have any questions or want to get involved, feel free to come up at the end of the meeting and we can talk more about it.
Awesome. Case study with Isabella.
Hi, everybody. I am the director of case. Very good to be part of this. Well, we do have cases. It's a whole lot of marketing and research. If you're interested in first and secondary research and putting together a case, this is the place for you. Last semester, we worked together and put together as part of the AMA competition, an entire case study of Wall Street Journal, and we helped Wall Street Journal find different ways for them to be more successful and having more student subscribers. Lots of times we have things every week, but it will depend as to what everybody's schedule is. Here, just get involved.
Okay, I have social impact with Dell. Dell is on me right now, but I have her AD, Erika. Yay, awesome.
Hi everyone, my name is Erica. I'm AD of Public Relations, and at Social Impact, we plan and organize events for our AMA members to get involved in the community and get back to the Tampa Bay area. We do all sorts of events. So if that's something you'd be interested in helping out with, we need all the help we can get. So just come talk to me after our meeting.
Yeah, I'm Sydney or Sydney right here.
Hi, I'm Sydney. I'm the membership and DEI director. Main things we're working on for membership is gaining new members. Welcome everyone. And also keeping track of our current members through various databases. So if you are good at tabling and talking to people, we'd love to have you on membership. One other thing we're working on is a event specifically for new members, just to get everyone involved and introduce everyone to our current members. And then on the DEI side of things, it's a fairly new part of the committee, but we're going to be working on some DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, for anyone who doesn't know, related events and surveys to just make sure that all of our members are welcome and feel included. And if you are interested in that, my ADs are at this table and also Paige back there. You can talk to any of them after the meeting, because I have to leave, but thank you.
And finally, I can see what it is. It's events, awesome. So we have two ADs of the events that are here right now. Claudia is here. Do you want to talk a little bit about the interim director?
Yeah. So we don't have a director of the now. So that's but what events does is we're in charge of planning AMA social for our student members. That's in charge of planning on a daily basis. If you have an interest in event planning and kind of going through the process of that, or go on the next slide.
Awesome. Thank you. So yes, our director of events position is open. There is a QR code. I don't know if you guys will be able to read it because of the sound, but the link is also available on the link tree. Even if you're a first timer, I applied for any of our position on my first meeting and I got it through, became a director of fundraising, and I'm here now, so it works. You guys should really make the best use of AMA by getting involved as much as you can. There is no limits of communities you can join. This is a good opportunity for you to start doing your resume, getting more experience in specific areas that you want. Either is it marketing, creating content specifically, developing strategies, or even market research, as you guys heard about us talking. So yeah, welcome everyone. Really excited. The rest of the team, I already introduced myself. Again, Gustavo.
Hi, Brianna.
Our co-executive vice presidents. And then we also have our secretary, Natalie, and our wonderful treasurer, Denise, or MVP. And of course, we couldn't make it without our practice advisor, Dr. Lauren Jarrett. Ryan, yeah.
In the right place. We the best decision of the day, of the week, of the month, probably the year. All right, by being here, so congratulations, welcome, and we hope to have you back to future meetings. I'm actually really excited that all meetings you chose to attend this one because the panelists that we have are going to tell you all sorts of wonderful things about AMA even more than thanks again for being here.
Okay, I know it has been a lot of information. We have a few more stuff to share before we actually start today's event. But we'll be here every week talking about the same stuff. And please, again, don't hesitate to come talk to us, ask any questions. All our officers are here to help you. So, point system. Sydney is going to talk about it.
So basically, we operate by a point system where you come to events, you have attendance attendance, come and participate, you get points. And then those points can be traded in for things like having like discounts or sometimes completely paid off ICC trips or collegiate conference, or things like banquets, smaller things that you can make points in for. Some ways you can earn points are coming to GBMs, helping tabling, going to committee meetings, helping with fundraising events, basically any AMA type event, social impact, go volunteer. You get points for it, and you trade them in for super fun, awesome things like ICC.
Perfect. So literally points, this is very graphical representation, but you're participating in a meeting, you get points. Points have money value. You can trade those points for things such as traveling with us to New Orleans in April, or the ICC, which is the International Collegiate Conference, our main event that we prepared the whole year for. And we're going to talk a little bit more in detail about it now, right? Oh, we have the leader part first. So, yeah, so congrats to our top 5 members so far. Now, so kind of said talk a little bit about it. As I said, we prepared the whole year for this event. We participate. Each committee is responsible for different competitions on this international level, such as case study that Isabella talked about, the website competition. We submitted most of them already at this point of the year. And in March 30th to April 1st, we're all going to New Orleans together to have a wonderful professional experience at the conference, and also to celebrate and be rewarded, hopefully, for victories if we did our job right. So we are all invited to join us in this half semester way through the day we go to New Orleans. And again, the more engaged you are, the higher the chances you can attend this event for free. Oh yes, and then I mentioned the awards. So our main thing we're fighting for, of course, is the ranking. As I mentioned, we are top 15 chapter in the country. We hope to rise that again this year. We rose from top 20 to top 15 on the year before. We also got a career forum grant approved with $1,000 that last year, I don't know if you were involved. Hopefully you have attended our regional conference that we planned. We had a whole conference committee here responsible for that event. So that award is all things to them. Website competition, t-shirt design, marketing week, and all sorts of stuff. I know they're all random words in your head right now, but if you got involved in committees, you see this as a final goal, something, a badge that you can add to your resume of a project that you were working on. You really made it to have a recognition like that, and this has an international value. So. Oh yeah, and if you're interested, Bree, you want to talk about this part?
Yeah, so if you're interested in going to ICC, there's a registration form. This is the QR code. That deadline is going to be the 14th of February, so coming up pretty soon. So if you are interested, just make sure you fill out that form so we can know if you're going. And then the point cutoff is March 10th, so you have the opportunity to earn points until March 10th. So if you just continue to get involved, then you'll most likely be able to go and be covered with points. And when it goes to Tuesday before we leave, that's when we'll have a mandatory meeting where we'll go through more information and have you sign papers.
Perfect. Thank you, Bree. Oh, question.
What is like the amount, like how much is it based without?
Oh, Bree, estimate price.
It's about $900.
Yes, it is a lot. So the more involved you are, I mean, she's summing up, of course, the registration plus hotel plus flight estimate. So it also depends how well you can buy your flight if you're flying. We're also evaluating the possibility of other means of transportation, such as driving there in like groups, anything to make it cheaper for everyone as well. But yeah, the points are the way to go, I would say, in that sense. Okay, we have a video, right, to know about the ITC before we go. I don't know. It's a vehicle of what it is. Perfect. So as you can see, there are also competitions that you can participate in there. Sales competition, a pitch competition, even more certificates that if you go, you can claim as your own if you perform well. And if you're interested in all this, as a business organization here at the College of Business, we are your enrollment is related to a membership fee. So it's really, which is really cheap. I charge $45 per year, so $375 per month. So if you want to break it in, to have a better understanding of what is a cup of tea per month, you're actually part of a professional business org that will give you like hundreds of benefits as you all were talking about it endlessly. So is there any other sponsorships? Oh yeah, of course. Thank you. My bad. The most important information is that you can get this membership price covered if you apply for a sponsorship. Do you want to talk about it, Dave?
Okay. So, every semester we hold a sponsorship competition. So, this will fully cover your membership dues for a full year. And the point is if you can travel anywhere in the world for free wherever you go, you do it. So, more information is going to be on our Instagram, but the deadline is January 31st, so you have the rest of this month to do that. The requirements, we don't want it to be more than one page, please. Do not send us more than a page. But you're going to email that essay to our membership email. There's a form in the Google form as well. And then what's required is that you must attend a sponsorship ceremony that's going to, reward you and recognize you. On February 7th, it's just during the general body meeting, and you're also required to write a handwritten letter to your sponsor. So our sponsors come from the AMA community, from supporters who want to see our students grow. So we want to just make sure they know how much we appreciate it. Are there any questions on that specifically?
And more information to add is that if you need to renew your membership and you also need financial assistance, you can also apply if you're going to renew your membership. So if you know your card is expiring, you can reapply for sponsorship. And actually, Ms. Dana Gordon is one of our sponsors. She sponsored me twice already, so let's give her a round of applause. Really appreciate the work that these people always put in for us. Really important. So yeah, I think we're good to calling and introduce our speakers. So next slide. We have firstly Ms. Dana is going to talk to us. She's the president of Pirate Marketing, and she has a presentation, right?
Let's give her a round of applause. I will come and stand over here so that my retinas are not burned out. I can see all your beautiful faces. Excellent. As Gustavo said, I'm Dana Gordon. I'm the president and captain of Pirate Marketing. I started my company in 2019, which was a very unfortunate time to start a company right before COVID. It was very challenging, but it's been wonderful. Obviously, we're still doing well, so I'm very grateful for that. As a background, I have lived in Tampa since 1997. I am a graduate of USF. I'm not going to tell you the year I graduated, probably well before many of you were born, and that's okay. I have been in the marketing and advertising industry for going on a quarter of a century now, quite a time. And I really kind of bounced around a little bit. I started off at a print advertising company, then I moved into healthcare marketing, then I moved into real estate marketing, then I moved back into healthcare marketing, then I moved into technology marketing. And that was all before I started my company. So I've seen a lot of a lot. It gives me a very broad spectrum of sales and marketing and communications and advertising. So another thing I'm very grateful for. But thank you to the e-board for bringing me in. I'm very happy to be here and talk about AMA 101. One of the reasons why they asked me in is because I was on the board of directors for the professional chapter of AMA Tampa Bay for 2 years. It was a wonderful experience. In all honesty, I don't even remember how I was even invited to the board. I don't know if I just found out about it and applied or somebody referred me. Don't recall. I'm old. I only remember bits and pieces. But next slide, please. What is really essential is that as professionals, you move into your career, you really do have to get involved in some sort of professional organization. And there's a lot of reasons why that matters. Me personally, obviously, I'm very, very proud of the work that I've done with AMA and then also my sponsorships and help with the university chapter as well. But a couple of things that Gustavo already touched on, which are really important to keep in mind. This is a professional chapter, keep in mind. So 45,000 members nationwide. There are a couple of places that supposedly there's some international chapters. I don't know much about them, but for now, let's just focus on the US. 45,000 members. So if you think about those people becoming your professional network as you move into professional chapters, that is a massive group of people that you can reach out to at any time. There's also more than 70 professional chapters in the nation, as well as the 250 more. Gustavo, you mentioned how many collegiate chapters, hundreds. It's amazing. But what's really interesting is when I joined the board of AMA Tampa Bay, I wound up connecting with people who were in positions on boards at all these national chapters. And so people were connecting with me. We were brainstorming, we were problem solving together because obviously every city and every group is going to have different challenges. And so I made connections that I would have never made otherwise. So it was a really amazing opportunity for that purpose. And what's really great is because you get to know these people so well. Every time I traveled to a new city, if there was an AMA chapter there, they'd be like, Dana, stop by. Come stop by, we'll go have drinks. It was incredible. So it was that built-in networking that was just, for me, one of the most invaluable portions of it. Another thing is it advances the field of marketing. I know it's hard to breathe with the sun, but really it's important for people to understand the broad spectrum of marketing. And AMA in particular as an organization really focuses on the science of that. So it's not just the creative, oh, we're gonna make it pretty and sexy and entertaining. It's more of everything that goes into it. It's the strategy, the communications, the problem solving, how marketing fits into the global perspective of any organization, which I think as students, you're only seeing a portion of it, but as you move into your career, it's really essential that you start to broaden your perspective a little bit. And why AMA was so amazing is because all of these additional resources that were available to us as professionals and also to you as students to be able to tap into that information. Next slide. So again, a little bit hard to see, but I would say the top 3 reasons to join AMA, if you're not already a member, number one, like I already touched on a little bit, is to build that network. So important as you move into your career. Even if you know you want to do, maybe you already have an internship and they're going to offer you a position when you graduate, that's fantastic. But the thing is, on average, most marketers switch jobs every 2 to 4 years. Across the industry, across every umbrella you can think of, it's, a lot of positions are a little bit short-lived. So it's really, really essential to build that network because you never know where the next position or the next opportunity is going to present itself. So it's really easy, especially as a professional, you consider somebody my age or even a little bit younger, you may be high-level executive, you may be a business owners, you may have large teams, you may be running a family and have a household. It's so easy to get so sucked in by your day-to-day responsibilities that it's easy to lose track of those networking opportunities that are available. So that's why it's so good to get involved with the organization because it forces you to build that network and build that community that is always going to benefit you in the future. Another thing is it's really interesting because there were, especially for me personally, because I did healthcare marketing, I did real estate marketing, it's a very small niche. And so my network was not very well developed. But then when I joined the AMA professional chapter, it was interesting because through sponsorship discussions, through event discussions, through all the annual events that we ran, I was getting introduced to senior leadership and executives of all these major corporations throughout the greater Tampa Bay area. And I would have never had another opportunity to make connections to those people who are very difficult to get a hold of, by the way. So it afforded me an opportunity, again, to expand that network with very high qualified connections that have just benefited me for years now. So something to keep in mind as well. Moving on to number 2, stay updated on trends and topics. So I don't know, I haven't seen what's available to the students through AMA, but I know on the professional chapter, there are so many opportunities for continuing education.
So again, you get so busy in your jobs, you get so busy with school, and you get dug down into your niche, and there's not a lot of free time. The thing is, you really do have to stay competitive and stay at the top of your game. So it's important to take whatever sort of educational opportunities you can get as you go along. So what's really great is they have so many free resources online. There's templates and there's on-demand seminars and tech talks that you can join, but also there's ongoing conferences and certifications that you can sign up for as well. And it's just another thing that you can add onto your resume that's going to make you a more valuable employee than other people that just aren't spending the time and effort to do that. And then number 3, explore career opportunities. So obviously I already touched on that a little bit, but it really is important to develop that network and even be able to add to your resume that you are part of a professional organization. It shows that you care about something else other than what's directly in front of you and your direct position. So it makes, it shows that you are involved in the community. It shows that you're interested in the industry. So it's one of those things that looks really great on your resume. Again, really great to build connections with people. What I thought was really interesting and a similarity between the professional chapter and the collegiate chapter is how many people are interested. So when I first joined AMA, I thought it was just going to be marketing people, and it really wasn't. It was a lot of salespeople, it was financial people, it was people that were from every industry. We had people in technology and healthcare and pretty much nonprofits, like really across the board. It was amazing because it gave me perspectives as a leader that I would have never gotten again just working at my normal 9-to-5 job. So it was really, truly amazing. Next slide. And then a couple of other things that I did want to touch on. And I know Gustavo and Teju already kind of touched on a little bit. Number 1, leadership opportunities. When you're a student, it's really hard to have that leadership little bullet points on your resume. It's really hard to lead others. It's really difficult to get in front of a group of people and tell them what to do. It's really difficult to sit down and come up with a strategy and problem solve. So when you are part of an organization like this, where they make it easy for you to move into a leadership position, it's one of those things that it'll teach you tactics and techniques to communicate with people, to tell them what the priorities are, to keep people on task, to set timelines and set deadlines and set goals. And all of that is so essential as you move into your careers. And so it's one of those things, it's a great opportunity to get involved and really start to learn those techniques before you even enter the full-time workforce. Obviously, it leads to other groups and organizations. So as part of what I rolled off of, okay, good job, whoever did that. Thank you so much. So it leads to other groups and organizations. So as part of me being AMA, I made so many connections. I get invitations to do speaking engagements. I get invitations to join other boards. I get invitations to, connect with other organizations and platforms because I have that experience. And they're like, oh, you've already served on a board. You've already had that senior leadership position. It's really helpful. So it's really helpful to keep that in mind as well. And then the last thing that I want to touch on is it's just a good time. Honestly, I had such a blast when I was on the AMA board because, again, you have these people that are already swamped with their time. They're already swamped with their jobs, their families, or what have you. And the fact that they're willing to put that additional effort into joining an organization like AMA, it's a certain type of person that is motivated and cares enough to move forward in a position like that. So I met some incredible people that I rolled off the board of AMA Tampa Bay in 2019. And some of those people are still some of my dearest friends. We get together all the time. I've had client relationships that came out of people that I met through AMA. So it's really incredible. Next slide. And one thing I want to touch on before I get into this. So I think it's really interesting that I'm gonna play favorites for a moment. My position at AMA Tampa Bay was VP of Programming, which technically was VP of Events, so it was event programming. The fact that you guys need a director of events, so essential that somebody steps into that position, I personally think it's the most fun position. You get to, really make the chapter what it's supposed to be. And especially in the professional chapter, there were 3 teams that really kept the chapter going and made it successful. So one was events, so that was me and my team. Number 2 was membership, and number 3 was communications. And the reason why those 3 teams, and obviously they named slightly different with you guys, but the reason why those are so important is because that are the 3 topics that focus on the people, focus on the membership. So for me, I would have to go out, come up with all the different event programming for the entire year. That included morning workshops on a quarterly basis. I did huge monthly luncheons just for the general populace that were also open to the public. And then I did bi-monthly happy hours, which is just general networking. And the thing was, because we did such a good job working with the communications team, we were able to drive a ton of people to attend these events that were both members and potential to be members. So our membership numbers spiked up exponentially. And within 1 year, we more than doubled our membership, and it was the highest membership that AMA Tampa Bay ever achieved. So it just tells you how closely that those teams have to work together. And then as far as the membership team, they were responsible for keeping those ongoing communications, touching base with people, saying, hey, you've been a member for 6 months. What was your favorite event? What do you want to see? What are the biggest challenges that you have in your positions right now? Because then that can be communicated back to me, making sure that our events stayed relevant. So it just created this really beautiful, holistic community of communication between all the leaders to make sure that AMA was super relevant, super important, and essential to the community for the Tampa Bay market. So getting back to this, favorite memory. I know you guys mentioned the ICC. It's a blast. I'm sure it's totally different for the professional chapter than it is for the collegiate chapter. I'm sure the collegiate chapter probably has to behave just a little bit. But the professional chapter, we do not have to behave. So we went to Chicago. It was funded. We built up quite a budget. And it was, I think, 8 of us went. And it was so much fun. I mean, it was entertaining. We networked with chapters from across the country. There was, I'm not going to tell you the trouble that we all got into during the dinner and the after hours party. But at the same time, there was so much educational resources that were happening concurrently. And so there was all the fun and all the social events, all the celebrations of all the high performing chapters. But then there was also the, we're going to do a seminar on this, and we're going to do a workshop on this, and we're going to do a breakfast chat about this. And it was just such an interesting experience. And I mean, all these years later, I still think about it so fondly. So it's one of those things, if you join AMA and you love it, please go to the ICC if you could possibly do it at all. It is a wonderful experience. It will absolutely benefit you for the rest of your career. And that's all I have.
So we have 7 minutes for questions, because then that has to go.
I do. Sure.
So you said you were director of events for AMA Education. So what was the most successful event in terms of gaining members?
Believe it or not, it was the morning workshops. Which me personally, I'm not a morning person. They were not my favorite. But the fact that they were so educational, and it was really more to be truly hands-on, instructional, teaching people new skills that maybe they didn't have before. We would have people, I would say the member to non-member ratio was probably 25-75, meaning 75% of the people that would come to our workshops weren't even AMA members. So it was a really amazing channel for getting people transferred into full-time membership because they got so much value out of it.
Kind of following up on that, how did you decide what events would work? When you first started, how did you go about doing that? Did you make surveys? How did you come up?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it was both historical information. So the AMA chapter, AMA Tampa Bay, has been around for quite a while, decades. So we were able to pull historical data for what was very popular with our membership. But obviously things change every year, so we would do annual surveys to say, what are you getting the most value out of, what do you want to see? And I was always willing to try something new. As marketers, you have to stay on your toes and be willing to test new ideas. But generally speaking, people wanted those three things. They wanted the workshops, the luncheons, and the happy hours. And that was just seemed to work, and so we stuck with it year after year. All right. Well, if anybody has any follow-up questions, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to answer them. Thank you for having me today.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Jen. I appreciate it. Just a second, we'll have our second speaker.
Go ahead and start, Gustavo.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wow, it feels so weird to be back here. Thank you everyone for having me, and it just feels very weird for me to stand here because I graduated just last year, and now I'm back with 1 year of work experience, and I was asked to present, what was life after college, what did AMA do for me, and all those kind of things. But then I thought to myself as I was planning yesterday, and I said, I'm just gonna scratch everything, and I'm just gonna deliver the most value I can in 15 and 20 minutes for you, and then tell you why AMA changed my life. Sounds good? Because I realized if I tell you what AMA has done for me and how benefits and those kind of things, like networking that it's done for me, it doesn't mean much to you guys because it's not real until you experience it yourself. Correct? Right? But I know they've already gone through all the good stuff. There's no point of me repeating myself. So I'm gonna do all that. If you're good with it, you guys don't have a choice. I already made the presentation, so let's go ahead and get started. So first, let's talk about what I do and who I am. Okay, my name is Leon, and I graduated USF last year with a business marketing degree and a concentration in supply chain. Right, and then I missed it. What I do is I am a sales and operations. Well, to make it easier, I'm a business analyst. I've been that for the past year now. What I do is I tell stories with existing data. I take a bunch of numbers and I code it and I make it. I don't know if you can see the background there. It's exactly what I see every single day. I make it into a story and I show it and present it to senior leaders and I tell them what they should do, or suggest, not tell them, right? I suggest what they should do based on marketing campaigns or seasonality or whatever trends that I'm seeing. I take the data, I tell that story, and they get it, and they trust me, and they make decisions for the better of the company. That's what I do. I do a lot of things, but I just want to talk about these three things. And I'm going to relate this back to why you should join AMA. So just pay a little bit more attention. Don't lose focus yet, okay? So the other two main things that I do, I am a forecaster. I am in a process of being certified to be a certified professional forecaster. And when you think of forecaster, you think of weather, correct? Well, that's not it, okay? A lot of people, when I tell them I forecast for a living, it's because they immediately ask me, oh, what's the stock going to be next week? Or what's the stock going to be in a week? Or a month, or stuff like that. But in reality, forecasting is the ability to identify the future, right? To not know, because nobody ever knows the future, but map out uncertainty. And I want to just, who here is afraid of uncertainty? There's some very confident people here. But I deal with uncertainty every single day. And I love what I do because I forecast for a living, because I realize that forecasting has so much to do with anything, whether it's professional role, you forecast your marketing, your demand, you can forecast stock, you can forecast what the sales are going to be the next year, the next 5 years, and I'll show you a little bit of how I do that, right? And it can be personal as well, right? I've worked for a year, and I've been able to apply a lot of this into my life. I've been able to use the same concept and forecast my uncertainty in my future, which I think, looking back 1 year ago when I was still here as AMA president, I wouldn't have known, because everything would have been so uncertain, correct? Who here is very certain with their future? Good. Wow. That's awesome. But okay. So how I do, and this is a big part of my job, how I measure and cushion uncertainty for the company, for the senior leaders, for businesses and products, is I make a code of uncertainty. Right? This is just a little bit of what I do, but again, it's gonna tie back. Right? There you have a code of uncertainty, and who has heard of code of uncertainty? Nobody? Awesome. Okay. But that's okay. These are important things that I didn't know before as well. But now that I've learned, and coming back here after a year with experience to tell you what I wish I knew. Right? Again, forecasting can be in a professional sense, measuring demand, sales, all those kind of things you guys are going to deal with when you get out of here. Trust me, every business wants to know what's going to happen next year, correct? Right? Makes sense? So forecasting, that's why I chose to go the route of forecasting, because of that, right? But what we do is we make a code. The larger the code, the more the uncertainty, right? Whatever is on the edges are the least likely to happen, but still has the possibility of happening, right? A lot of these things are probabilities, right? What's the probability of something happening, right? What causes a stock to fall? Can someone tell me? No finance people here? Well, it is demand and supply, right? Demand goes up, supply goes down, demand goes up, right? That's how the entire stock market works. You guys know this, right? But okay, so that's how we measure. That's how we see from 1 to 10 years. And this is actually where it's very useful, because when an interviewer comes and asks you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? This is how you map out your uncertainty, right? How many of you guys just go and say, how the hell would I know? And ask that question, right? Oh no, forecasting is a beautiful art. It's a beautiful art and a beautiful science. And I can talk more after. We don't have much time. No, we're going to a little bit, okay? I can move next. Who here has heard of an ABC analysis? Wow. That's okay. That's why I'm here, right? Code of uncertainty and the ABC analysis. This is something that I do as well, and something that I want to encourage you guys. An ABC analysis, also known as the 80-20 Pareto principle. Who has heard of 80-20 Pareto principle? You have?
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but
But this is applicable. This is something, again, I went into the workforce, I became a business analyst, I've learned, and I've applied, and I'm coming back to you and I'm giving you this knowledge, okay? And what it really is, if you click it one more time, ABC analysis, also known as 80-20 Pareto principle, it's this idea that 80% of our efforts produce 20% of the results. And I work very intimately with this principle, because in my company, I work for an industrial packaging company, and I'm a business analyst that analyzes data for a company that is 400 million revenue every single year. Right? It's a very big company. Currently, it's $2 billion company with thousands of products they sell, right? And then with thousands of products, this principle, if you don't apply it, you're going to be in a disaster. And this is the same thing that you're going to see wherever you go. No matter what company, no matter what industry, whether it's retail or manufacturing, it's going to be exactly the same. And this is something that supply chain is going to teach you. I was a supply chain major too, right? Is that it was actually, let me tell you the background first. It was developed by a person called Wilfredo Pareto. And what he did was he realized that 20% of his crops produced 80% of his finished goods. Does that make sense? And then he went that, he was an economist. He took that concept and he applied to the market. And he realized that 80% of the land in Italy is owned by 20% of the people. And that makes complete sense. And it blew my mind when I practiced it. It really did, because 80% of the wealth is owned by 20% of the population. Who agrees it? Who agrees? Right? That makes sense? Or you guys think 100% of the wealth belongs to 1% of the people? No. So this principle just extremely blows my mind, because when I put this, I ran an analysis with the 2,000 products that I had for my company, and I saw that 80% of the profits came from only 20% of the products. Is that amazing? So the company can scratch out 80% of their portfolios, 80% of what they sell, and they would only scratch out 20% of their revenue. Does that make sense? If I'm not making sense, I'm going on a tangent, tell me to go slower or ask me questions. Okay? Why do I bring this principle up? Because this is true not only, again, in a professional sense, in products, in land, in wealth, in stock markets. It is true in ourselves. It is true in what the efforts that we put into our everyday, right? 80%, 20% of our efforts produce 80% of the result, right? So why am I explaining this to you? Because if you go to the next slide, it comes to my point of why AMA, because AMA is your 20%. AMA is the little effort that you put in that will provide you with 80% of the value, 80% of the result, right? And I say that with the assumption that you are going to give your all, because when you pay that $45 and you come in and you don't participate and you just come and you just do your own thing, it's like nothing's going to happen for you, right? AMA, I always tell these people, I have not seen it for a very long time, but I always tell them, how much you put in is how much you will get out. And that's a true philosophy for everything that you do, correct? So if AMA is your 20%, invest in that $45. Come in, right? I think the directors, as I was listening, you guys are so humble. You guys undersell yourself. You guys don't market yourself enough, right? I was part of CASE. CASE is, you're writing an actual market research paper, a case of a real company, Wall Street. We did Amazon last year, right? These are real life things that you're doing, real applications, right? I was part of events. I was part of the golf tournament, right? They taught me how to plan the whole event, right? So AMA has done more than I could have imagined my entire life. I realize I'm going very quickly than I expected, but yeah, I can tell you all about my experiences and why it's changed me. And, I don't want to brag too much, but I got 7 offers after I came out, and I'm an international student too. Who here is an international student? Good. I'd say about 30% of you guys are, right? I'm here to tell you that there's hope, right? That when you join and you give it your all, and you learn, you invest in it 20%. And it's not just working hard in general. It's working hard on the 20%, right? Because if you work hard on the 80%, that produces only 20% of the result, then you're investing your efforts and your time in a very wrong place, correct? So don't you guys want to invest your time in the 20%? It's something that produces 80% of the result, right? So AMA is that 20%. You can come in and give it your all, okay? Because time is the most valuable thing you're going to have, right? I've heard billionaires, share on social media that the only thing they can buy is time. So when they have money, they buy jets because they save time in traveling. Time is going to be the most valuable thing you're going to have, okay? So don't waste time. Don't waste your time on your phone scrolling TikTok or too much, right? Try to really identify what that 20% is in your life. And the core of uncertainty, that's going to help you with everything. When you network, why did we ask you to go network? Why did we ask you to go to conferences and challenge yourself? It's because in that uncertainty, there's so many things that can happen. There's so many possibilities, right? There's a saying that we have in forecasting, that for in a world where our actions in the present influence the future, uncertainty is opportunity. My role, like I said, I forecast for a living. I predict the future for a living. I deal with uncertainty every single day, right? Because if I tell my CEO and I said, hey, we're going to sell 80 million units next year, and then we sell 50 million. Holy crap, I'm screwed. The company is screwed because of me, right? So forecasting is really so important. And I'm telling you, it's important in business, and it's important in your lives as well, right? Try to forecast yourself, because whatever you do now is going to influence the future. And that makes uncertainty not something to be afraid of, but something that is opportunity. Everyone is agreeing? Agrees? I think that's it, actually. I have 20 minutes for questions.
So what you do right now is really different from whatever you did in EMA. I suppose from most of what you did in school or anywhere else.
Absolutely, good question.
How was that? Since you were talking about uncertainty, how was dealing with that uncertainty of going into a position that you
Love that question. It's a great question. I studied marketing and supply chain, right? As I mentioned. And when I came out, I told myself, what the heck am I doing? Marketing and supply chain has nothing to do with each other, right? Supply chain, marketing is marketing. But my role is, I'm a business analyst, but more specifically, I'm a sales and operations planning analyst. That's my role. And what that means is I deal with sales, which is the sales and marketing team. And then when they sell something, who needs to produce it? No, it just appears in the sky.
Supply chain.
Supply chain produces it, right? And if supply chain doesn't produce it, what happens to marketing? Yeah, it's messed up, right? Customers are not happy. You have a bunch of orders that are not being fulfilled, all those kind of things. So what I do is I balance demand and supply every single day, right? So I always tell myself I'm just very thankful to be where I am because I'm exactly what I studied for, right? I started marketing and I studied supply chain, and it's giving me both worlds, right? Yeah, there's so much I want to share. Sometimes I just don't know where to put my thoughts together. To answer your question, but how do I do the uncertain with that? Wow. But I balance demand and supply every single day, and I think that has the most to do with what I study. I have no. Okay, that's it. Too many thoughts running in my head, but
okay, maybe then how did marketing specifically
oh, thank you. Okay,
help
coming
you
back.
into
Sorry, I just got off work, so a lot of things are in my head. But marketing. Back to my AMA. If I were to summarize everything, my 2 years of AMA and what taught me the most, it really isn't the networking. It's not even the public speaking. It's not the socializing. It's not any of that. It was marketing myself. That was the most valuable skill that AMA has taught me. I stood here and I marketed myself. I marketed the program. I marketed the point system. We call it point system though, right? Yeah, but it taught me how to market myself. And when I went to interviews, right, they asked me all sort of questions, and I was able to answer that because I know how to market myself. If you're confident in yourself and you know your strengths and your weaknesses, you don't have to worry about interviews, right? You go into an interview and they ask you a question. What do you think your strengths are? What are your weaknesses? You immediately know it because you know yourself. You can market yourself. You sell yourself, and then that's how I got 7 offers, to be honest, right? And I chose to go to this one. I got offers from very big companies, right? But I turned them down. It was crazy to just be sharing this now. I was writing emails I was learning how to write emails to reject offers as opposed to follow up with people, right? I rejected DocuSign. You guys know DocuSign? I rejected T-Mobile. They were not very happy. But I took this specific job because I saw the value in forecasting. This has the most in forecasting. It gave me a great offer. I took it, and all because I have leverage. My leverage comes from marketing yourself. So you guys need to practice how to market yourself. Whether it's case, it's events, or anything, market yourself. Don't undersell yourself. Be passionate about what you believe in. Okay? Next question.
So you were international students that pay for your work visa right now?
Yes. They are going to pay for my visa, which is very thankful. Yeah. A lot of them wanted to, but this year actually.
Is it not hard? So I feel like everyone that comes here to the States to study, get their major in university is great.
Absolutely.
But after,
of course. And I was exactly in your shoes, right? For people who are international students here, we have that uncertainty of what's going to happen in the future, right? And that's what, can you go into that sort of uncertainty? And that's why I think that this is going to help you out a lot. Draw a cone for yourself. Draw a line in the middle, right? I can't show you what I made for my job because I'm fired. But draw a line in the middle. Anything that line is your time. Just pop up the cone is now. So the further you go, the more uncertain it is. right? 5 years from now, it's going to be less certain. And then map out yourself. Where do you want to be, right? What exactly do you want? What's the outcome that you want? What is a preferred? What is a crazy idea? What is a preferred idea? What do you think is going to happen? Okay, and then you draw your journey towards that line. So let's say in your case it's graduation, right? So I'm going to graduate here, and then anything that I wish I could show you, but anything that you write. So it's really a brainstorming session for yourself. You're brainstorming what exactly can happen, right? You have to think a lot. That's why it's a lot of sitting down and just looking at a piece of paper. Because you're thinking, what can happen? You want a job. Where do you want to work? What do you want to work for? Who do you want to work for? How much money do you want to make? Right? All these kind of things, you have to set goals for yourself. And then look back, right? There's something called backward forecasting. Backcasting? Forecasting is for back. Yeah, there's something called backcasting. You're working from the back to the front. And then you write anything that you can do to reach that goal, right? Whether it's networking or go to more events, challenge them to go to conferences, all those kind of things. And then from there, you brainstorm possibilities. If I go to conference, if I go to ICC now, what can happen there?
You get a job offer.
You get a job offer. Oh, that's part of that's a possibility. What else?
Networking with people.
More specific.
Networking with someone that can give you a job in the future.
Sure. Okay. Meet someone, right? Get a job offer, right? That might not be the most likely, but that's something that can happen, right? It's putting your brain into a cone, and then how are you going to be able to meet that? How are you going to be able to manage that uncertainty? Okay, I don't know how to more explain it with this visual, but you have to write down what exactly can happen. You have to brainstorm anything that can happen. In my job, we forecast for a specific product. We think about everything. We even think of the possibility of aliens. And I know that sounds funny, but a wide cone is a good cone because that shows that you are open to whatever possibility there is outside, right? So one day, if an alien, if we receive some reception from aliens, what's going to happen? It's going to trigger a lot of people to be very curious. What are they going to purchase? How are things going to change? What are their hearts going to change? Right? How is the market going to be affected? Right? Who knows? Big companies are going to start doing research into these things, right? And marketing is completely going to change, correct? So your imagination and your openness to accept easiest ideas that can happen is going to define the quality of your work. Right? If you just draw a line, conference now. Like that's just a bad straight line. You need to know, right? Go to a conference, you talk to people, you can mess something up, right? You can go out for dinner, you can go to a bar, you can meet someone at a bar, there's so many possibilities. And that's how you deal with uncertainty. You are prepared for every single situation. Does that make sense? Even the dumbest ideas, like I said. And everything around it. And that's why you need to know your stuff in forecasting. You need to know what industries, what the news is happening, what this is happening, what theirs is happening, and you put it all together. Because everything is tied. Right? Techs are laying off. Who knows that techs are laying off people now? You guys don't know? You guys didn't know? Oh my gosh. No, tech companies, large companies are laying off thousands of people, right? Right. And then what does that lead to? Quiet quitting. You know what quiet quitting is? You guys heard of that? Right? All of these industry trends and these news are so important for you to know. Right? How do you manage quiet quitting? Quiet quitting means people are so scared or they're so unmotivated because companies are laying off that they start to quietly quit themselves. They only do the bare minimum and that's it. That's the problem that every company is facing. So how do you manage that? How do everything's going to change. It's going to affect the operations, it's going to affect the marketing, everything is going to change. And to be able to identify all those possibilities and connect all those dots is how you're going to be best prepared for your future. All right? Question? Gustavo? No, actually. I did my OPT until I only used half a year of it, and then I'm doing a master's now. I'm pursuing my master's. So I'm doing a master's in data science because I fell in love with data. So I'm doing data science. I'm doing that. So I'm an F1 student. I'm an F1 student working full time. Any other questions? Sure.
So in your line of profession, in terms of like trends that are upcoming and stuff you have to monitor, aside from social media, is there a specific way you research that?
News. Yeah. The best investment you can make is. So it gives me an idea. Sorry. In yourselves. Good. Good. Wow. First answer. The best investment you can make is in yourselves. Someone gave me that advice very, very well. When you have money, you can buy a lot of things, right? But the best thing that you cannot lose and you'll never get bored of, that will benefit you the most, right? So what I did when I made my first paycheck, I actually invested a lot in subscriptions. Right? I bought like Wall Street journals and all those industry stuff that I paid for, and I'm able to just invest in myself. I'm paying for this certification that I'm doing and I'm learning. Paying for yourself to go to conferences, right? And meet people. That's actually investing in yourself. Okay? And the collegiate conference, man, you guys way undersell that. It's just showed a video, but whatever happens there is so magical. So it's something to be excited. And to be able to have a system, I think we came up with a system in our year. Have a system to pay it off for you. You don't have and a sponsorship for you to be able to just not even have to pay the membership fee to come here to invest in your 20%. Come on, guys, right? That's so it's a dumb deal, right? If you don't want to write that essay or you don't want to get earned points, well, then I think your code is empty. Agreed? Right? Because that's on your surroundings. That's on you, right? So all those kind of things actually help. And a network, and meet people, and read stuff, and social media, blah, blah. And that's all.
What's your favorite AMA memory?
Too many. I tell Lauren this many times. When I joined AMA in 2020, I gave my all. I gave AMA my life. I really, really did. I invested in people. I invested in meeting with one-on-ones with all of the members, all the keyboard members, all the members. That'd be crazy. All the keyboard members. I spent one time with them. I planned in the beginning when I was president, right? I planned every single thing, had a timeline, have everything ready, and I don't know. I can't pick one. I think every day that I was able to be here and present and to sell something that I'm passionate about, something that today has changed my life. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's very funny because I realized a lot of things. The video, I was the one that pulled out the video, and then a lot of the graphics. It was me and Wen that worked together on those graphics that you guys are still using. So I don't know. Coming back here is just weird. Very weird. Yeah. But anything else before we close? I know we have to move something. Any other questions, or we can?
Will you hang out so if anybody wants to ask questions?
Sure. Sure. Yeah, I have a lot to share. If you're asking the right questions. I can't put everything in the slide. Hopefully, yeah. What's my LinkedIn? Only right. Yeah. You can come ask for it later. I can give it to you. Anything else? 5 more minutes. Don't be afraid.
I was just gonna ask how you heard about AMA and what made you join it, at first.
I was actually late to AMA, to join AMA. I joined AMA my junior year. So who here is a junior and below? Okay, that's good. And who's a junior and a senior? 50, 50. Oh, sorry, junior. Who's a sophomore and a freshman? See, not that many. A lot of people get serious only in their junior year. That was me. So you get the fact that you guys are here, kudos